Hey
Hey
guys,
guys,
it's PB.
I'm Bea and welcome to our channel.
Today is our second Charlie time and today's topic
is how to study and improve your Korean.
So we just want to put it out there that we are not saying we're fluent, and this is not the the best, not best,
Or the
only way
or the right way
to improve or study Korean. It's just how we studied and how we improved and how we got to our Korean
that we are now.
Yes. So we're gonna categorize it into 4 categories. So we got speaking,
Writing,
listening,
and reading.
Okay. Number 1, speaking. You have to put yourself in an environment where you only speak Korean. If you don't physically speak Korean, you're not going to improve, especially if it's not an environment where you're forced to speak Korean. So, for example, even if you have a Korean friend who speaks English, maybe you will speak Korean to them, but maybe you won't speak Korean because you know that they can speak English, and it's a language that you're comfortable to speak with one each other. So it's always specifying a person who can only speak Korean, because that really challenges you to speak it.
And of course, the ideal option would be to come to Korea and learn the language here. But of course, now because of the pandemic or maybe because of your budget, it is something that it's not possible for you. So I would advise you to find apps online in order to chat or video call with Korean people. Also, always be safe, of course, but there are a lot of apps that you could use to do this. And if you're in your city, there are Korean communities. You could definitely go there from time to time and try to interact with locals, and maybe just going to a Korean store or a Korean restaurant and ordering in Korean would definitely help you improve your Korean faster.
Yeah, and your confidence.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, writing. So with writing, it's kind of tricky.
It is.
Because to be honest, the only thing you can do is constantly write in Korean to improve. And for me, for example, well, not for me, for example, if you have a friend who's Korean or like a teacher to mark your work, that's definitely much better. Because even if you write Korean by yourself, no one's going to check it for you. You need someone to check it to know what you've done wrong. So I would normally buy a notebook that has squares, because that's the form that topic exams use. So here's like example of what I've written, and all the red notes are from my teachers. So I recommend to go through the notes.
And always, like, once you have a teacher or a friend correcting your notes, go over them again and rewrite everything once or twice, so that all the mistakes sits with you and you can actually understand what you did wrong and you can improve next time.
Yeah, don't look at your book and be like, oh, it's red, I don't want to go through it again. You really need to understand what mistake you've done wrong, and if you don't understand, you should ask, because otherwise you're not going to improve and you're going to make the same mistakes over and over again. Listening, no brainer. Korean drama, variety shows, you should watch them.
Yeah, you should.
But I personally recommend variety shows because they are more fun to watch, because it's all about comedy and everything, and the vocabulary they use are more in terms of conversational basis rather than dramas. Dramas are very, depending on the situation, it's very like formal
and they even use some expressions that you would never hear a Korean person say in normal life.
Yeah. And what was your tip?
Also, if you have the chance to hang out with a Korean group of people, I would advise you to listen to your Korean friends talking to each other, because first of all, you will pick up a lot of new vocabulary that you might not know, and also you will easily get used to the speed that Korean people talk at, which can be quite fast and it's very different from the speed of actors talking in dramas.
Yeah. And in terms of like vocabularies, if you constantly watch these kind of stuff, you hear recurring words. Like if you watch dramas, you know what it means, all that. That's because you always hear it. So if you constantly, if you constantly,
for friends.
So if you constantly listen to it, you will pick up the same words and then remember it. Lastly, reading. This is my favorite out of the all. And the best way for me personally, I don't think it will help a lot, but if you're an otaku, then I think this will be very helpful, and it's reading mangas in Korean version, obviously. So I've got the Full Metal Alchemist and Hunter x Hunter. And with anime, if you already watched your favorite one, you already know the storyline, and when you read it, then you understand. You should know the storyline, so it will help you in terms of reading. But if there's a vocabulary you don't know, I would always jot it down like in a notebook and then search up later. And I'm like, oh, that's what it means. And they always tend to use the same words, well, especially with Full Metal Alchemist. So if I don't know the word, I can always refer back to it. And I think this is a very fun way to study Korean. It wouldn't be like studying, it's more like a hobby, which I think is great if you're studying Korean, because you don't want to be thinking, oh, studying Korean is boring. But it's a great hobby, and you're learning Korean at the same time.
Yeah, which is definitely a bonus.
Yes.
And also, I really love reading. So I remember when I started studying Korean, I would read a lot of poems because they are very short. And for example, this book was featured in a very popular drama like a few years ago, which was Kimbiso we Koroka. And inside there are a lot of poems and a lot of like cute pictures. So yeah, it's really nice to read, very easy.
Relatively easy to read.
And you can learn a lot of new words. You can just read one poem before going to bed every day, and you will definitely pick up a lot.
And the fact that it's like short is not overwhelming.
That for sure. And then I have more books in
Is that novel?
Oh, yeah, these are novels, so a little bit more advanced, but of course depending on your level you can switch between books.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, it is sort of in the same topic as manga. I recommend reading webtoons. So if you don't like holding physical books, you can always read online. And webtoon is like, I guess, the Korean version of manga. So there's like Naver webtoon, and yeah, it's essentially the same. Yeah, so Korean version of manga, and it's a fun way to read it on the go when you're going to work or have spare time. And there are a lot that are very easy to read. So if you do want recommendation, I can give you the ones that I used to read when I was learning Korean. And yeah, if you have any recommendations, you can also give to me, because I love reading webtoons.
And also, if you like watching dramas, I would suggest you to watch Korean dramas and adding like subtitles in Korean. And there are also a few platforms that have the option to add both Korean and maybe English subtitles or subtitles in another language. So I would definitely suggest you to do so in order to pick up more vocabulary, and the more vocabulary that you learn, the better. And especially, for example, you want to take the TOPIK test eventually. So this is another book, very helpful with a lot of useful vocabulary that you can learn.
And on the topic of the subtitles, I also recommend to watch an English movie, or like a movie in English, and then change it to Korean subtitles. Well, yeah. So I have Netflix Korea, so obviously I have the options to have Korean subtitles, which is useful because obviously you understand English, so if you read at the same time, you'll get used to it maybe.
And one other thing that I did, and it helped me a lot, was I would find a drama that I liked, and I would find on Naver like the script. And then I would go over the script and, you know, like memorize, for example, expression that would recur or would be quite common. And yeah, it really helped, and I improved my Korean a lot by doing that, and learned a lot of conversational, both grammar and words, vocabulary.
Yeah, so all in all, I do think vocabulary is the key in learning Korean.
Because even if you don't know the grammar, you will still be able to communicate to a certain extent.
Yes.
So guys, this is for today's chatty time, and we really hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful somehow.
If you feel like we missed anything and would like to give your tips on how to study, we would like to know, because we are still learning in the process as well. And good luck for your studying.
Fighting!